Like, I've approached one girl at a bar. I was like, hey, what's up? What are you drinking? She was like, a Crown and Coke. I was like, nice. And that was as far as I could afford to go. But then I told myself I shouldn't overthink it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I said, could you buy me one too, please? I'm Ralph Barbosa. Thank you guys so much. I'm only here because I'm a loser in my world. And my uncle, my mom's brother, got my dad into, they were drug dealers. Like sold like all sorts of drugs. My uncle was like a right-hand man for like a cartel in Mexico.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The multi-billion-dollar industry of narco-trafficking is one of Mexico's biggest exports.
We were like spoiled. No matter where we lived, we were always like so taken care of. I had like all the video games. I had like so much clothes. Like my uncle had a Corvette, a BMW. Like, well, I'm telling you, we lived like kings.
But when that all came to an end, or fucking sad ass end, my dad started remodeling houses, and he would also paint cars because he had a body shop for a while.
And one day, like 4 years after he had quit, he was like running a job site, and like federal agents just showed up and were like, yo, you're under arrest.
You know, I was still a kid when they got caught up with that stuff, and it really did traumatize my family a lot. So I remember trying to sell weed for like 3 weeks.
When I was fresh out of high school, I think this is like right before I even tried my first open mic. My cousin, like my uncle's oldest son, who's like my big brother with her, you know, he's always been in and out of street shit too, you know. Yeah. At this time, he's into some street shit. I went with him one time. He was like picking up like a pound of weed from this dude. I was like, yo, do you think that he would sell me some? Or like through you or something, you know what I mean? And he's just like, my cousin was just like, man, are you serious? Like, I was like, yeah, like, just give me a little bit. I think I could sell some, you know what I mean? And for like a good 2-3 weeks, I think I made him a lot of money. Like, I was surprised at how many people would just buy weed from me. And I was just like, I'm gonna stop. After 3 weeks, I was like, I'm good. And he was like, why? I was just like, I feel like I'm not gonna want to learn a skill if I keep doing this. Like, and this is right when my uncle and my dad had like, literally 4 months ago, had just, their trials done, they just turned themselves into the prisons they're going to. Like,
you know, people on my mom's side are in prison or have already been killed. My dad's in prison. Like,
what if I end up in jail and like,
if I get caught, even with just like, even if I just got caught with some small time shit, I know my family's gonna be real like devastated and shit. You know what I mean?
Every male is in prison. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was just like, nah, I shouldn't do it. When drug dealers call you from prison, they always ask the same question. They're always like, who would have thought I go from driving the Benz to sleeping in a cell? Everybody. That's why we asked you to stop. I'm like the Corky Romano brother Fredo, like dumbass. Like, the fact that comedy's working out for me now they're just like, yo, good job, Ralphie. But like for the longest, they're just like, fucking moron.
But I don't
like,
think that...
I'm the one guy in my family who like finished high school and they're just like, he's a pussy. Like, my grandpa had like a job and doing like sheetrock and stuff. Yeah. Like, he's probably the one guy in our whole family who had like a job. Yeah.
My parents were born here, but I was raised by my grandparents. My mom was living with us, and then she moved out. I stayed at my grandma's.
I lived with my mom for a while too, and she was cool. She never really kept my dad around, but she always kept father figures around.
Now, I have brothers and sisters, but they're way younger than me. For a long time, I was just by myself.
My grandmother, who raised me, she's a huge fan of comedy. If you would have told her that one day I'd be here on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she probably would have said, ¿Qué? Because she doesn't know English. I had like all sorts of different jobs.
I think when I was 12, I had my first job. I was washing dishes at a Mariscos restaurant. I also was a barber.
I was painting cars for a long time. My dad ran a body shop. Yeah. His younger brother, my uncle, worked there for like years and like taught himself how to paint and shit, and he taught me. I've been going out to eat by myself lately, but I'll take my notebook with me so I can write little joke ideas. And I noticed like in different parts of town, sometimes people will try to guess what I'm writing in the notebook. Like whenever I'm in hood type areas, people are usually like, oh, he's writing raps. Right? But whenever I'm in like a nice uptown Starbucks, then people are like, oh, he's writing raps.
I was 9 years old when I found my uncle's DVD of Chappelle shows.
My uncle, who I'm telling you, he's a fucking huge comedy fan. He loves comedy, yeah. So he always had like the Chappelle show on DVD.
Yeah.
And he like left one at my grandma's house one time, and I was like, I don't know, man, like 9 or something.
Yeah.
So I started watching it. You know, it was fun. I was like bringing all my friends over to watch Chappelle show and shit. And
I'm Rick James, bitch. Enjoy yourself.
And then one day flipping through the channels on Comedy Central, because sometimes I'd catch it on TV.
Yeah.
One day he came on and I was just like, oh shit, Chappelle show. But
It was
he just
followed
kept
by
talking. And I was just like, yo, when's he gonna do skits? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But then I just kept watching it and I was just like, oh shit, it's like stand-up comedy. Like, and I've seen it here and there, like on movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh shit, like he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And like then I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I was probably the first ever person I ever saw doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I also grew up in big shit-talking environments. Like I grew up at the barbershop where it's not even funny anymore. It's just shit-talking. You know what I mean? My family's like that. I'm telling you, I was like the dumbass of the family. They're like always shitting on me.
I got like my suburban friends too, but they're like college kid, preppy type people, very cocky. Like they can never answer questions by saying yes or no. They always gotta say stuff like, you know me. That's weird. That is the strangest way to answer a question. Talked to my buddy James. I was like, yo, James, a couple weeks ago, we were hanging out at that bar and you seemed to hit it off with that one girl. And I've been meaning to ask you, did you two go home together? He was like, Ralph, you know me. You know me. I was like, dude, she's been missing for like 13 days, man. I don't know you at all.
Where did you start doing stand-up comedy at?
In Dallas, at Backdoor Comedy. It's a tiny little spot. It's run by this lady named Linda Stogner. She's really funny, real nice lady. That right there, you can only perform clean at their shows. At their open mic is clean, and I started doing the open mic, and she started letting me like host or whatever on weekends. It was cool. She used to give me a lot of stage time. I love comedy so much that if I was doing sold out clubs, or if I even got to do like, you know, some theaters one day, it'd make no difference to me to go from that to doing like the local clubs again for free. Like,
Yeah.
I love the craft. I love comedy in general.